Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler for series V's I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I just got through eating a Subway sub sandwich, and now I'm gonna try another one. But we'll get to that, folks. It's super simple format. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna try out food and/or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt, folks. When I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for today? Well, it happens to be probably my most adorable. It's my my ham sushi shirt. Look, they're squishy little hams. I love it. Such a good shirt. But why do I have a ham sushi shirt? Well, I do love sushi, but not in hamster format. But I love hamsters. I actually have, currently at the time I'm doing this, I have 5 hamsters. I have 3 older guys and a couple of younger ones. But over the past few years, I got into hamsters as being a thing. Like, I love animals. I have ever since I was a kid. It's kind of instilled into me by my dad. He was big into reptiles and stuff. And I went a very different route. I kind of was more into the stuff that, like, my dad would want to go over there and feed to the reptiles. But yeah, and I got into hamsters and, it became this cool little project, something for me to kind of focus my attention on. And yeah, man, I love them. They're super awesome. I've had some really incredible hamsters over the course of my time with them. And all of them, I love them. So, but anyway, what am I trying for today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, like I said, it's Subway sub sandwich review because I went out to Subway. I just got through reviewing their brand new Baja Chipotle chicken sub. And I was looking over the rest of their menu, and there was one on there that I was pretty sure I'd had, but I looked through my videos, and it doesn't appear that. It is... But boom! What is this? This is off of their cheesesteak menu. This is their Outlaw sub sandwich, which consists of steak, 2 times the pepper jack, green peppers, red onions, and Baja Chipotle. And I got it on the Italian herbs and cheese bread. Now, with that said, folks, I do have to preface this with I guess it's technically preface, but I like saying preface. I have to preface this with 3 things because it is a sub sandwich review. Number 1, for over 3 years now, I've been going on sub sandwich adventures. And what that means is I've been going out to basically every place that I can find that sells sub sandwiches, be they chain locations, Walmart, the break room at my work. If it has a sub sandwich, I'm reviewing it. I'm posting that review to YouTube, and then you guys hopefully get to enjoy it. But I don't just go over there and post it to YouTube. I'm actually such a nice guy, and this is where number 2 comes to play. I go over there, and I have a specific playlist that I post them to called Subs for Subs. And like I said, for over 3 years now, I've been filling that playlist up. So I have well over 100 sub sandwich reviews in there. But maybe that's not enough for you. Maybe you're greedy. Maybe you want more sub sandwich reviewing goodness. Folks, that's where number 3 comes to play because all you have to do is wait until Sunday. Why? Because Sunday is SUBday. That is the day when I go over there and I upload my sub sandwich reviews. For over 3 years, I've not missed a sub or a Sunday yet, so you're going to get at least one sub sandwich review. Let's try this one. It's a relatively simple sub, especially compared to the last one I just had. That thing was loaded with stuff. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's not very impressive. Like, the bread doesn't look terrible, but, like, you look at the innards, and it's, like, compared to, like, a really good sub, and it feels somewhat insubstantial. But let's give it a go. Oh, I have to do a thing for the thing. Yeah, we'll kind of... What's going to be the best way to make this happen? We'll kind of go like this, I guess, and we'll go like, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, it's just not that sexy looking. But that's okay, as long as it tastes good. That was a lot of bread. I got like 95% bread A little bit of the Baja sauce. That was about it. Ah. Come here. All right, let's get into it a little bit more now. I mean, it's not terrible. The steakiness of it isn't awful. One thing I will say, and I mentioned this in my previous review, in the time since I started reviewing sub sandwiches, I do feel like Subway has upped their game a bit. Because they've basically been called out in the past few years in big ways. Like, to the extent where, like, you know, they had to call in, like, franchise owners and stuff like that. And, like, really try to figure out what the hell was going wrong. And I do think, to a certain extent, they've addressed the fact that they were putting out a less than mediocre product. To that end, they are now putting out what I would consider slightly above a mediocre product. It's still not fantastic, but I'll give it credit because since it is a relatively simple sub, again, especially by comparison to the last one that I had, I prefer the honesty of this sub. Whereas the last one had so much stuff going on, it almost felt like it was trying to cheat its way to victory, you know? Like it was trying to pretend like it was a better sub than it was. And really, I didn't feel like it was giving me much oomph to the flavor. This, it's less complicated. The flavors are coming through better. Like I said, the steak actually tastes, you know, kind of steaky. The way you would like it to taste. Not as good as proper cheesesteak, but it's at least in there. And then, you know, you got like the green peppers, which give a nice crunch to it. And then you've got like the Baja, which is okay. It's, you know, it has a little bit of a zip to it. It's got a little bit of a tanginess. Not really a lot in the way of like spice or anything, but I think here's the thing that kind of makes this work for me. It does kind of taste like a cheesesteak. Now, I'm not saying that it's anything close to a proper cheesesteak. It's not. Even by comparison, you know, if you take like Charlie's cheesesteaks, which I reviewed some of their stuff for the channel as well, you know, that's their bread and butter. Their cheesesteaks are obviously multitudes better than this. But at the very least, this does have a cheesesteak vibe to it. The steakiness is there. The pepper jack, I think, although it doesn't really have much of it. If there's one thing that I'll say that it's kind of lacking, I don't really feel like it has a lot of zing to it. You know, between the Baja and the pepper jack, you'd like it to have a little bit more oomph. But I do think that it at the very least adds a little bit more flavor to the whole thing. And yeah, it's not terrible. Like, I've had worse cheesesteaks. In fact, I've reviewed worse cheesesteaks. Did an IHOP cheesesteak. I did Sonic's cheesesteak. Yeah. But, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Sure, within context, and sure. What I mean by within context. In the context of, for some reason, I am going to Subway instead of any of the other multitudes of better places I could go to get a sub sandwich. Because, realistically, you know, Subway, they're not the best. You know, they're arguably one of the worst. But they have a place, and while I don't typically eat there unless I'm doing a review, if I found myself at one, like maybe if I was like, I don't know, going through a Walmart or something like that, and they had one of the express ones, if I just wanted a sub and I just couldn't be fucked for whatever reason, this is honestly one of the better ones I've had from them. And again, I do think that they deserve credit, and I do think they've gotten better as time has gone by. Is it a good cheesesteak by cheesesteak standards? No. Is it a good sandwich by Subway standards? I'm going to go with yes. I think that, again, the ingredients were allowed to shine through a little bit. It doesn't give you that, like, really rewarding cheesesteak taste, you know, that experience that you really want, but you could do a lot worse from Subway. And that's why if I'm recommending it, sure. It's not great, again, by cheesesteak standards, but it's not the worst cheesesteak I've ever had. And yeah, that's damning with faint praise, but like fundamentally, the fact of the matter is when I bit into it, I did get a cheesesteak vibe. And was it just ooey and gooey and fresh and delicious? No. But depending on what your options are, you could do worse. And in terms of Subway sandwich options, I do think that this is one of the ones that, for me, is a little bit more palatable. It's something I can get behind a little bit. So, sure. It's about as nice as I can be to Subway at the moment. Again, credit where it's due. I do think they've gotten better. So, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there. So, truly... Penn Station East Coast subs, better, fantastic rest of your life, because definitely better than Subway. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, when it comes to your cheesesteaks, what's your preferred place? You know, are you a Subway fan? Are you a Charlie's fan? Are you fortunate enough where you live in Philly and you actually have, like, you know, access to the really good ones? I'd be interested to hear your take on it, because, you know, cheesesteak's obviously a very iconic sandwich, and, you know, I know people have very strong opinions on it. So, for me personally, I mean, I don't really have a preferred place, because it's like, I don't really know that, like, I want like a really, really good one, you know, so that I can gauge all the other ones at. But anyway,